My research interests are mainly Orthodox theology and contemporary thought, particularly the relationship between theology and philosophy. And at the moment, I do research on Russian religious philosophy, especially Paul Ferenczky. My article is on the divine energies. There's a doctrine in the Eastern Orthodox tradition that distinguishes between the divine essence and the divine energies. Particularly in the West, this doctrine is mainly associated with the 14th century theologian and mystic Gregory Palamas. And there was a controversy in the 14th century about hesychast monasticism. There were monks from Mount Athos, and they claimed to have experienced the divine light. And the question was, what did they see? Did they see God himself, something created? Did they see the divine essence? And Gregory Palamas used the essence-energy distinction to clarify theologically, what they experienced. And he defended the monks and said what they actually experienced was the uncreated divine light. In the 20th century, we experienced something like a revival of Gregory Palamas and his teaching. It's called Neo-Palamism. There were various Orthodox thinkers like John Meyendorff, Dumitru Staniloae and Losky, and they did a lot of research, historical and theological research on Gregory Palamas and this doctrine, and they came to the conclusion that this is a doctrine that is very essential for Eastern Orthodoxy. They emphasized very strongly the experiential and existential dimension of the encounter with God. To put it differently, we can say the energies are in the single opera are God himself. But one cannot say that an individual experience of an energy is God. So we cannot reduce the fullness of God to individual acts of self-disclosure. So there's an asymmetry here. That's how the Russian philosophers understood this doctrine. There's no Deus absconditus, the hidden God that is completely different from the real God. Of course, not the same kind of transcendent as God's transcendence, but we can know the world as it is in itself. For instance, that implies a critique of Kant. There's no abyss between the phenomenal and the noumenal realm. But at the same time, the world is also inexhaustible in some sense because it participates in God. So that would be, in a nutshell, what Ferenczky was trying to do.